Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's Rideshare Buddy UK and my name's Kevin. It's Tuesday the 4th of February and it's coming up to 10 to 12. I'm going to start shift at 12 today. This isn't going to be a ride along video because what I want to have to do is have a quick chat about 2 Uber strikes planned for February. Should they go ahead? What sort of impact will they have? Will they actually achieve anything? And if they did, what will the consequences be for the drivers? Because if one of the issues that I'm going to be striking over comes into force, Uber will change its way of operating and it'll be bad news for drivers. So let's have a quick look. I'm just going to park up and then we'll have a quick look at the first of the strikes, which I believe is going to be mainly London on the 11th of February, and it's organised by the union, ACDU union, is it? App Couriers and Drivers Union. So we'll have a look at their demands and what they want to happen on the 11th in London. And then after that, we've got a great switch off on February the 14th, the great St Valentine's Day switch off, which is supposed to be a national day of action, and we'll have a look at that and when that's going to happen and what impacts will it have, if any. Okay, so what I have Uber Priority, Uber Comfort and Bolt Comfort on, and I've also got the Taxi Caller app on as well. Been a quiet day today. Got an airport on tomorrow and an airport on Friday, but a little bit quiet as you would expect at this time of year. Now, this first strike on the 11th of February, that's next Tuesday. They want drivers to protest outside the Uber's headquarters from 10 AM to 1 PM, and they want drivers to switch off Uber apps for 24 hours in the protest against what they describe as unfair treatment by the ride-hailing giants. So it's organised by the ADCU. A major grievance is Uber's trip radar, which the union argues pit drivers against each other for fares, reducing their ability to earn stable income. The union claim the features these drivers undercutting each other. No, it doesn't. You don't put in a price. What happens is a job comes up and you choose it or you don't choose it. And if you're a taxi driver, you know what's profitable and what's not profitable. And if it's not profitable, you don't choose it. I don't. This is why I only have Priority and Comfort on Uber in Newport. I can't make UberX pay. It just doesn't pay enough fare for this type of car and for my living style. Here we go, Uber Priority. We'll take that. It's 5 miles in total for $10.28. So anyway, they want to stop trip radar. It's not what I would want. Another key demand is the end to Uber's dynamic pricing system. And they want fixed pay rates of £2.50 per mile plus 50p per minute. And they also want waiting time to be paid in between jobs. And that is going to really destroy jobs and opportunities in Uber. Because people who do Uber do it for the flexibility. But I've got to get on with this job and I'll come back to that about the flexibility. Right, that was a nice little job from Airbus up to the Mercury Hotel. So yeah, let's talk about these demands. Before we get onto Trip Radar, let's have a look at this one about paying for waiting time in between jobs. Uber are not going to do that, full stop. If they're forced to do it by law, then they'll change their business model. And what they'll probably do is follow either something like Amazon Flex, or I think Just Eat is the food delivery one where they have set shifts. Now, Uber is probably between 30 to 40% overstaffed. That is, they've got 30 to 40% more cars than they've got work for. So what they'll do is they'll release maybe 2-hour shifts at a time that you will have to bid on to get. How they'll arrange which ones they'll take or which ones they don't, probably to do with rating and low cancellation rates and things like that. But they'll only have on active, on shift, enough cars to cover the work they expect to get. Now, they've got big data, they've got AI, they know fairly much how many cars they're going to need at any particular time of day or night. So they'll probably do that. Now, it's either going to be like Amazon Flex, where they release, say, 2-hour blocks or 3-hour blocks for you to bid on as they come up, or because that way they can stagger it throughout the day, so they can cover the entire day, or they'll do it the way that Just Eat's do, and that's, say, I think it's 4 hours or 6 hours shifts you can apply for. So, or day shifts or something like that. I doubt they'll go for a day shift because they've got the data, they know hour by hour, so they'll probably go by something like a 2 or 3 hour block that you bid on. That means 40% of the people who are now working Uber won't get a block because there's not enough work for them. So Uber is not going to pay to have people sit around doing nothing. I can tell you that. So that's the issue. And if you have to start bidding on blocks all the time, the flexibility, which is the main reason why people join Uber, you don't join it for the money. If you want to make money in private hire, you go to the local companies. You go to a local company, higher fares, more reliable customers. You go there. You don't go to Uber. Uber is all about flexibility, and that's why they can get away with such low fares. And with the ACDU trying to turn it into some sort of job, you're going to lose that flexibility. You're going to lose that control of working when you want, where you want, and taking on the jobs that you want. And that's bad news. That really is bad news. So you really don't want to be supporting that aspect of the demands. So let's get on with the Trip Radar demands as well. Now, to me, Trip Radar is pretty much the same as private hire used to be on the radios. Jobs are getting called for people who are local to the job to claim it. That's what I see Trip Radar as. Now, it may be that they are sort of testing the market on pricing, seeing who will do it the cheapest and who won't do it the cheapest. But, you know, with any job, if you're self-employed, if the job doesn't pay, don't bid on it. Don't apply for it, don't accept it. It's not rocket science. Apps have dumbed down the job a lot compared to what it used to be like in the old days. You know, we really don't want to start dumbing down the drivers as well. Drivers have the ability to make a decision as to whether the job is profitable or not profitable. If it's not profitable, don't do it. Nobody's forcing them to. You're self-employed. For those who can do more than one thing at a time, who can drive and check the prices, I think it's a really good tool. I've got no problems with it at all, and it should not be stopped. So I don't support that one either. Not a lot do support the ACDU. They're a weird sort of bunch of people. So I wouldn't support that. You know, drivers can make a decision. You're going to be able to make your own decisions in this job. And if Trip Radar gets taken away, a lot of that decision making also gets taken away, and drivers get dumbed down. So, no, I mean, if they want to make some sort of compromise and make Trip Radar a preference in the preferences, so those who can't cope with a Trip Radar being flashed up at them, they can turn it off in preferences. That would be a good option. The other option, of course, is just turn the app off when you got passengers on board, so you don't get pestered with them. I do it sometimes when I'm in Cardiff. I don't want to be giving Trip Radar in Cardiff. I don't want to do Cardiff. I want to get back out. and it's hard enough driving around Cardiff without having the map covered all the time. So whenever I get a job into Cardiff, I just don't accept any more jobs until I get back out of Cardiff. So that's one way of doing it. I mean, it's not rocket science. If it's a noise that you're worried about, then just turn the volume on your phone down so you don't get hit with the constant noise. It's easy solved, but we shouldn't be getting rid of it. I think it's a powerful tool. It reminds me of the old days when the operator used to shout out jobs over the radio, and you'd have to jump on it and say, "Yeah, that's me. I'm close by." And that's how I treat Trip Radar. It may be that it's jobs that they can't get rid of any other way, but that's fine, because I've had some jobs coming out to Trip Radar, which even though are a little bit far away, are still profitable. So I do them, especially during quiet times. So that's it. That's from the London guys and the ACDU protest. One, I don't agree with getting rid of Trip Radar. Okay, maybe put it in preferences. And two, you're not going to get Uber paying out on waiting time in between jobs. What will happen is they'll change the business model and they'll offer up shifts for you to bid on. And a lot of drivers won't get shifts because they're overstaffed. So let's look at the great St Valentine's Day switch off. Next one is February the 14th, where the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain, IWGB, basically it's the same people as the ACDU, pretty much interchangeable, just by a different name, are calling on drivers from all the platforms such as Uber, Bolt, FreeNow and Addison Lee to turn off the app between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on February the 14th, one of the busiest days of the year. Do you really think drivers are going to switch off the app on one of the busiest days of the year? Probably not. You'll get a few, but most won't. Drivers have also been urged to gather outside the Mayor's office in City Hall between 4 and 6 to demand better treatment. So again, very much the same demands, obviously same people, same demands as the ACDU, higher fares, low commissions, improved rights. So IWGB spokesperson said via social media, Uber, Bolt and Addison Lee are slowly destroying drivers' lives. No, drivers are destroying their own lives by accepting the fares. If you don't accept the fares, Uber will put the fares up because they need the work covered. The fact that you, the driver, accepts the fares means Uber are pricing it right. You may not agree with that, but that's the reality. If you are accepting the fares, then the price is right for what you want to do. Because if the price wasn't right, you wouldn't do it. I don't do Uber X. Prices aren't right, so I don't do it. I'll just do priority in Newport. And if I get a job into Cardiff, I might get some comfort work in Cardiff. I would love comfort work to come to Newport. It could easily support some comfort cars, and there are cars in Newport that can do comfort, but they're more working in Cardiff because they can't get the high fares in Newport. So do I think either of these strikes are going to happen? Well, yeah, you'll always get a few, maybe a couple of dozen people who will turn up to these sort of things. But the majority of drivers won't. They won't take any notice. We're self-employed. We get to choose what work we do at the rate we want. And if a job comes up on the app which doesn't pay, I don't do it. I can't take the job and then complain that I'm not being paid enough, even though I'm the one who's took the job. It's one of the benefits of being self-employed. If the job doesn't pay, you don't do the job. So that's it. I don't think they've really achieved much at all. ACDU and the likes, they've got what drivers holiday pay, minimum pay during active working through the courts. The problem is Uber has done that and paid for it by cutting the rate of the drivers. There's only just so much money Uber is prepared to pay, And what they'll do, they'll just do a bit of basic accounting and split the fares up into a way where it meets the requirements of the law. And in fact, I'd say that it's actually been quite negative as well on the way that Uber works. Well, the earnings that drivers can make through most of the platforms. So that's it. 2 strikes in February. I think that neither of them are going to work. I think the demands just will destroy the job for the driver. I mean, you take that issue regarding being paid in between jobs. They'll just take on less drivers. They'll ship out saying, Uber will say, well, between 12 o'clock, midday and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we need 400 drivers. So we'll release 400 spaces. And anyone who can't get a space, don't work, full stop. So, be careful what you wish for, because it could very easily mean you don't do any work at all if you can't get in there. If you've got low driver ratings, you may never get another shift. So just be a bit careful what you wish for on this sort of job. It's self-employed. You choose what you do. You choose what fares are good for you. And if they're not good for you, just don't choose a fare. And if all drivers did that, then those jobs that Uber can't get rid of, they'll increase the fare on. Basic economics. Law and supply of law and demand. Was it the law of supply and demand? Sorry. Drivers are taking the fares. Uber are offering the fares, and they'll test it, see if they can take it lower, and they'll carry on taking it lower until nobody offers or accepts the jobs. So that's it. That's it. Two strikes. Will I be taking part in either of them? No, I won't. I don't think it's needed. I think drivers can make their own decisions as to whether a job's profitable. They can make their own decisions as to whether or not they want to go out and work at 2 o'clock in the morning for £3.20 a job. They can choose whether they want to do that or not, and if they don't want to do it, just don't go out and do it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Probably upset a lot of you union folks, but I don't really care. This is self-employment. This is Uber. This is the flexibility that I love. I've been able to go out when I want, where I want, do what I want, and then go home. I don't want to be sat at the computer at 9 o'clock in the morning hoping I can jump on a 2-hour shift at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't want that. I'll do a couple of top-ups on the reports on the day so far. It's 2 o'clock. I've been out for 2 hours. I've just pulled into BP to do a charge up. I was down to 23%. It's going to take me 40 minutes to get up to 90%. So I've got time to get a good charge in, have a cup of coffee, and get ready for the 3 o'clock. Because at 3 o'clock, that's when the school drivers disappear off and it gets quite busy. So I'll be charged up and ready for that. I've done £32 in 2 hours. All priority work, all 3 jobs, all priority, all paying at least £2 a mile. So I'm hitting that £1 a mile, including my return ones and stuff. So not too bad, not great, but survivable. So let's get this charged up, let's get a coffee, and I'll report back at the end of the shift. Right, that's it. It's the end of the day. It's just gone up to 10 to 7. By the time I get home, it'll be 7 o'clock. So that's a 7-hour day, and it's been pretty disgusting. Started off a good morning, and this afternoon, the late afternoon, after I charged the car, it's just gone dead. So 7 hours, £71.92. Not a great Tuesday. I did better yesterday in 3 hours than I did today in 7. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. That's the way Uber is. You just don't know from one day to the next as to whether you're going to make a profit or not. But that's it. That's the end of the day. Till next time, thanks for watching, and take care and safe driving.